In a kingdom bathed in riches and ruled with an iron fist, a powerful king finds himself haunted by a mysterious emptiness. His days are filled with victory and glory, yet each night, shadows creep into his mind, whispering of a purpose unfulfilled. As he embarks on a journey to find the meaning behind his restlessness, he discovers that some battles cannot be won with armies, and some treasures cannot be measured in gold. Long ago, nestled in the mountainous kingdom of Carania, a realm blessed with rivers that sparkled under the sun and valleys that bloomed with life, there ruled a king named Rayan. To his people, he was known as the Lion of Carania, a title he earned through his bravery, wisdom, and conquests. With his lands sprawling beyond the horizon, his wealth filling endless chambers in the grand palace, and his rule uncontested, King Rayan should have been the happiest man in the kingdom. Yet, deep within, his heart held a silent ache that gnawed at him day and night, like a restless shadow haunting his every moment. No one knew of this emptiness. To the world, Rayan was a king to be admired, an emperor with the world at his feet. His court was always bustling with advisors, scholars, and noblemen, his throne room filled with the laughter and chatter of those seeking his favor. Yet each night, as silence settled over the palace and the festivities died down, King Rayan was left alone with his thoughts. It was then that the ache became unbearable, a hollow feeling that even his vast riches and achievements couldn't fill. One night, as a storm raged outside, the flickering torches in the grand hall cast long, wavering shadows on the walls. Thunder cracked in the distance, reverberating through the palace's stone walls. Rayan sat on his throne, gazing into the darkness, his mind lost in thought. He wondered what it was that left him so unsatisfied, what it was that he, despite all his accomplishments, was missing. The sound of footsteps echoed in the hall, breaking through his thoughts. His closest friend and most trusted warrior, Zaid, approached him, his face etched with concern. Zaid had been by Rayan's side since their boyhood days, back when they were merely two young dreamers who would one day shape the fate of Carania. Now, as the king's confidant, he understood Rayan in ways no one else did. "Majesty," Zaid spoke softly, bowing respectfully before him, "forgive me for intruding, but I can see that something troubles you. Would you share your burden with me, old friend?" King Rayan sighed, casting a glance at Zaid. In the dim torchlight, his face looked weary, lined with the weight of years spent ruling a vast kingdom. "Zaid," he began, his voice tinged with sorrow, "I have conquered lands, built cities, and amassed wealth beyond measure. My name is revered across kingdoms. Yet, I feel empty. Each day, I rule with power, but each night, I feel as though I have lost something far more precious than any throne." Zaid's eyes softened as he listened, understanding the depth of his friend's turmoil. "Majesty, sometimes what we seek is not found in riches or power. Perhaps, there is something beyond your reach that holds the answer." Rayan pondered Zaid's words, feeling as if he were standing on the edge of understanding something profound. That night, he made a decision that would forever alter the course of his life. He would leave the palace and journey into the world as a humble traveler, to find the purpose that eluded him. Dressed in simple clothes and with only a few provisions, he would walk among his people, unknown and unrecognized. Zaid, ever loyal, insisted on accompanying him, and together they set out at dawn. A journey of humility and wonder. For weeks, Rayan and Zaid traveled across the kingdom, wandering through towns, villages, and landscapes more breathtaking than Rayan had ever noticed. In the villages, they met people who labored tirelessly under the sun, yet laughed freely as they shared simple meals with their loved ones. Rayan marveled at the families who lived with so little but seemed so content. He observed how the mothers cared for their children, the craftsmen took pride in their work, and the elders passed down stories that filled the younger generations with wisdom and hope. As they ventured further, they arrived in a bustling marketplace, where traders from distant lands bartered spices, textiles, and precious stones. The air was filled with the scent of exotic herbs, the chatter of merchants, and the laughter of children playing in the alleys. Here, no one recognized Rayan as their king, and he felt a sense of liberation he had never known. He was just a traveler, a man among men, sharing in the life of his people without the weight of his crown. One evening, after a long day of travel, they reached a small village perched on the edge of a serene lake, its waters reflecting the colors of the setting sun. The villagers welcomed them warmly, offering them food and a place to rest. As they gathered around a fire that night, the villagers sang songs of old tales, songs of love, bravery, and loss. Rayan listened, enchanted by the simplicity of their lives and the richness of their spirits. An old woman named Amira, with a face lined by years of laughter and sorrow, noticed Rayan's silence. She approached him, her eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Young man," she said, her voice soft yet strong, "you seem burdened. What brings you to our humble village?" Rayan hesitated, unsure how to explain the emptiness that had driven him here. Finally he replied, "I am searching for something, though I do not know what it is. I have wealth and power, yet my heart is restless." Amira chuckled, a gentle, knowing sound. "True contentment does not lie in riches or titles, my dear. It lies in knowing oneself, in sharing one's life with others, and in finding peace in the small, everyday moments." Her words resonated deeply within Rayan, leaving him with a sense of clarity he hadn't felt before. The village of Mira and the lesson of selflessness. The journey continued, bringing them to a secluded valley where lay the village of Mira. Surrounded by towering mountains and hidden from the world, Mira was a place untouched by the ambitions of kings. The villagers here were poor but generous, living in simple homes with walls made of clay and roofs of thatch. Yet, despite their humble lives, they welcomed Rayan and Zaid with open arms, offering them shelter and food. In this village, Rayan met Mira, a young woman who had lost her family but devoted her life to helping others. She cared for the children, tended to the elderly, and helped the villagers with their daily tasks, never expecting anything in return. Mira's kindness was boundless, and her spirit was like a light that warmed everyone around her. One evening, as Rayan watched Mira mend the clothes of a frail old man, he couldn't help but ask, "Mira, you give so much to others, yet you have so little yourself. Don't you feel weary? Don't you wish for a better life?" Mira looked up at him, a gentle smile on her face. "Majesty," she said, unaware that she was speaking to her king, "true happiness lies not in taking but in giving. When I help others, I feel a joy that no riches can match. In the end, what we leave behind are the lives we touch, not the wealth we gather." Her words struck Rayan deeply, piercing through the armor of pride and ambition that had encased his heart for so long. He realized that his life had been filled with conquest and power, yet he had never known the joy of selfless giving. As days turned into weeks, Rayan and Zaid became a part of the village's life. They helped build houses, gathered food, and worked in the fields, feeling the warmth of community and the fulfillment that came from working side by side with others. The villagers, unaware of Rayan's true identity, accepted him as one of their own, and he felt a happiness that he had never known in his palace. The test of fire. One fateful night, tragedy struck the village. A terrible fire broke out, spreading rapidly through the wooden homes and fields. The flames roared, casting a sinister glow against the dark sky, as villagers scrambled to save their belongings and loved ones. Screams filled the air as the fire devoured everything in its path, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Without hesitation, Rayan sprang into action, rallying the villagers and leading them in a desperate effort to contain the blaze. Forming a human chain from the nearby river, they passed buckets of water, dousing the flames with every ounce of strength they could muster. Rayan's hands blistered, his face blackened by smoke, yet he pressed on, refusing to let the fire consume the village. Beside him, Mira and Zaid worked tirelessly, their determination unwavering. As dawn broke and the last of the flames were extinguished, the village lay in ruins, but its people were safe. Exhausted and covered in soot, Rayan looked around at the weary but grateful faces of the villagers. In that moment, he felt a profound sense of fulfillment, a sense of purpose he had never known. It was not the grandeur of his throne, nor the wealth of his kingdom, but the simple act of standing with others in their time of need that filled the void in his heart. Return to the throne. When Rayan eventually returned to his palace, he was a changed man. His heart, once restless, was now at peace, filled with a new understanding of what it truly meant to be a king. He ruled with compassion and humility, using his wealth to improve the lives of his people, and his power to protect the weak. He became not only a ruler but a servant of his people, a king whose legacy would be remembered not for his conquests but for the love he showed to his kingdom. And so, the tale of King Rayan, the Lion of Carania, became a legend. A king who had everything but found true happiness only when he gave himself to others.